is the grid for race one of the FIA World Touring Car Championship. Ivan Muller on pole position from teammate Tom Chilton. Top independent Alex McDowell lines up third from Pepe Oriola, whose teenage brother Jordi just won his first race in the European Touring Car Cup earlier on over lunch. James Nash lines up in fifth for Bamboo Engineering behind his teammate Michel Nukia sixth. So 4 cruisers in the top 6. Mark Basseng, great qualifying for him. 7th place on the grid. Daryl O'Young 8th in his BMW for Royal Motorsport. 9th Gabriele Tarquini after his 5th-place grid penalty. And in 10th place Fernando Monche, lucky to avoid the car that Tarquini punted off in the final bits of Q1. Stefano D'Aste, Franz Engstler, Tom Boardman and Thiago Montero are rows 6 and 7 on the grid. Tom Coronel and Mehdi Banani, another all BMW row, and there's a big BMW cluster further down the grid. Rennie Munich, he'll be starting his European Rallycross campaign on Easter Monday in Kent. And on the back row of the grid, Jean-Philippe Desraux, who did not set a qualifying time because his times were excluded for missing the weighbridge. And last man on the grid, the world champion Rob Huff, who did not even complete the outlap in qualifying. Ivan Muller is our race leader now. This is not the normal rolling start formation lap, so this is race one of the race. Safety car will come in at the end of this, so a very different look to the start of this year's World Championship. But just to stress, that is purely because of the weather, purely because it is so wet. So all the cars have left the grid. The race is on. Race was declared wet earlier on, understandably, and Matt, that means that you are allowed to use wet weather tyres, which you would otherwise not be allowed to fit to the car, but you're not compelled to. So if it's mixed conditions, you can maybe opt to gamble on slicks, but not even the most reckless of gamblers would consider a slick tyre today. Yeah,
with the front-wheel drives, they used to have an advantage over the BMWs, where because all the driving and the steering is done on the front end, and the braking, because you've got the differential there, they used to be able to put slicks on the front and run wets on the rear to hold on to it, and then you get the braking and the traction from a slick tyre, and it's not going to swap ends on you. That's been banned now, just to try and equalise it, the fairness with the BMW guys. So it's unfortunately when we get to the, and that would be good. It would throw a few curveballs around, and but yeah, we're not going to see that, unfortunately.
We saw the safety car just getting sideways out of the Ascari chicane. That's how wet it is. Lights are off on the safety car. Looking there at Kurt Tremmel in the black cap in the Liqui-Moly Engstler BMW team.
Now here's a stat for you, Martin. All the drivers who started last year, so you're talking Chilton, McDowell, Nash, we did not have one wet race last year. Wow. So this is actually their first ever WTCC wet race.
Wow. So here we go, the 2013 World Touring Car Championship is about to get its first green flag race lap after one lap behind the safety car. As soon as they get to the white stripe at the exit of the Parabolica, you can pass. Ivan Muller should be hard on the gas now. He's not paid attention. He's bunching up the field. We're not waiting for a green flag. Why are we waiting for a green flag? When the safety car pulls in, that white line at the exit is the go line, not at the start-finish line. Muller leads from Chilton. Alex McDowell, look, Matt, he's sticking out on the other side of the track so he can see where the corner is, right?
Yeah, it's vision more than he's prepared to sacrifice the toe for to actually see where the corner is and where he's going.
Oh, a little bit of contact behind, getting busy. Gabriele Tarquini did not get a good start. That's Engstler over the curbs. D'Aste is beside him, wagging his tail. On board with Tarquini, right in front of him is Fernando Monche in the Seat.
The vision you get there from inside the car, it's not bad because we're on the TV camera. That is exactly what the driver can see. A lot of what you're doing is done on feel and memory, and what you can feel what the circuit's doing, and looking out the side window, see if you can pick up markers.
Confident start by Mark Basseng in 6th position. Daryl O'Young is 7th, top BMW driver. He is in front of Gabriele Tarquini, who as he now has Tarquini got by Monche? No, he has not. Monche passed Tarquini in that first corner kerfuffle. That's Stefano D'Aste in the red, white and green tricolore coloured BMW. but Muller and Chilton starting to pull away fast. And, yeah, anytime you go onto these curves, Matt, you are dicing with the outer limits, aren't you? Because they're likely to suck you off into the undergrowth.
Now, morning warm-up earlier on this morning, when it was wet, Dastay's BMW was the class of the field, and he's languishing down in 11th at the moment from the dry qualifying, so it'll be interesting to see if he can move forward at all.
Do you know what, with those red and white colours, those Muller and Chilton cars, particularly Muller's with the red bonnet, they do remind me of John Cleland era Vauxhall Cavaliers, those red and white colours. It needs Jeff Allen behind him, a bit of Pioneer sponsorship on it. You can see how twitchy it is on board with Tom Coronel, barely daring even to court the throttle, never mind to drill it onto the back straight, where normally you'd be wide open coming out of Ascari.
Those are horrible conditions.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Oriola there in 74, just ahead of James Nash, 14. Gabriele Tarquini, that again, as we saw in morning warm-up, the Honda really twitchy, didn't like turning into Ascari at all. And of course, it's brand new for Honda. The Seat, although I thought I saw lights going off. That is Dastay, loses it on the exit of Ascari. Yellow flags will be out while they try and sort out Watson. He's coming back onto the track. Gets very sideways, hits the curb, tries to get it, and then the polar moment takes him the opposite direction, heavily into the barriers. Basseng back inside. Tarquini was in the Parabolica.
Was it Basseng who Gabriele hit her in the Parabolica in qualifying?
Yes. Oh, no, it was Munich.
Oh, yeah.
Rennie Munich, his teammate. The third of the All-Inkle cars, the man who owns All-Inkle. We'll have a look again. Basseng coming back inside the Parabolica under yellow flags. No, the yellow flags were further back, of course, at the beginning of Sector 3. They'd have been green by that stage. Tarquini, though, is in 6th as they get down to the first chicane once more, and sideways, nearly loses it. Gets in too quick. Basseng trying to get alongside. Tarquini just recovering, and this is where Gabriele's experience of front-drive touring cars is going to help him try and hold Basseng off.
Yeah, Basseng, discretion was the better part of valor. You don't go around the outside of Gabriele.
Well, he just couldn't get the traction he needed. Gabriele got in hot, but just managed to escape. And of course, that corner's so slow, Gabriele could almost park it and still select first gear and get out of it quickly.
We've got another yellow flag.
Yeah.
Oh, safety car.
Safety car has come out. I think probably because of debris from Stefano Dastay's crash. He hit the barriers pretty hard backwards, but he was backwards. And unless there's somebody else off, and I don't think there is, it is just for Dastay's car. But the exit of Ascari is a pretty important place to be able to move the wreckage. We did see the car rolling back onto track from driver's left, and there's the PB Racing team, James Thompson and Marco Calovolo in the team garage with them. Tarquini, look, I mean, he almost at a total standstill, but that's so slow that Basseng was anyway, because that's racing speed.
He got away with it, didn't he?
Yeah, just.
Rossi back on a Yamaha. A team of Brits. A hot new rookie. Get ready for the most exciting season MotoGP has seen in years. MotoGP 2013 from the 4th of April on British Eurosport 2 HD, the home of motorbikes.
Oh, thanks again, Dawn. You're a real pal. And all because I had that little prang in the car. Hate to be a burden, I really do.
Oh, I'm sorry about the smell. Oh, Fifi. So, a free guaranteed hire car, you say, Churchill?
Oh, yes.
So you wouldn't be a burden on your friends if your car was off the road?
That's right.
Dare drop?
No, thanks.
For a free guaranteed hire car, chat to Churchill.
Free bets!
Not at all. There's nothing going on down here. Apart from this fellow.
Look at this! Fantastico! Unbelievable!
Bet anywhere with Ladbrokes Mobile. Bet £10 and get £30 in free bets. Download the app now. Ladbrokes, game on!
Motorsport's Fast and Furious tin-top action returns to Donington Park on the 20th and 21st of April with the hugely popular Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Round 2 of this hotly anticipated season sees 4 previous champions going head-to-head. Advance tickets are on sale now and start from only £10 for the Saturday and £25 for race day Sunday. Visit donington-park.co.uk for more details or phone the ticket hotline on 0844 873 7343.
We're off on this one. Safety car lights are out, so...
Yep. Safety car is in, all sectors are green, on board with Alex McDowell lying third. This is a chance for the Cumbrian driver to take his first ever outright World Touring Car Championship podium here in Monza. Tom Chilton pulls out from behind Ivar Muller, not to try and pass the Frenchman, but to try and see where the first corner is. McDowell defending from Oriola. James Nash behind in the second blue and white Bamboo Chevrolet is also defending hard from Mark Bassang in one mirror and Gabriele Tarquini in the other. And listen again to the wheel spin, but much less from the Chevrolet than we heard from the Honda.
Yeah, they're all very well behaved into the chicane. That's the one danger time for Muller in case someone did a Dudicalo and came from 50 metres back and just torpedoed him, but they all get through there safely.
Drive shaft failure for Michel Nukia right at the beginning of the race, right at the beginning of the season. Why has Ivar Muller got his wipers off? Because he doesn't need them anymore. The speed of the car and the coating that they put on the windscreen will help to beat the water off without the need for wipers spreading oil or anything else.
Is that Huff already up behind Montero?
Huff's still behind Boardman.
He's on
the first sector.
He's on the timing beacon.
Oh, he's a bit wide. Is that Huff? There is...
No, that's Bassang.
Tarquini. Tarquini has got by James Nash. And that is Bassang behind Nash now. So Nash is being pushed down to 5th by Tarquini, who made a very good restart. And now he's hunting down former Seat colleague Pepe Oriola. Well, my prediction was for Ivar Muller to clear off and win by the better part of a lap. So much for that, then. Yeah. Sorry about that, anybody who put money on, courtesy of my tweets. I'm not sure I'd ever do that myself either. Well, coming down into the first corner, everybody desperate to try and keep those temperatures up. There's Ron Hartfeld in the middle of the picture, the engineering director at RML. Look at the cars fanning out. You see the lights forming. It looks almost like a 3-lane motorway because everybody's looking for that visibility, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, they're still going to be with the tow, even in these conditions. They're going to be pulling a good 150 mile an hour down these main straights.
Yeah.
So you imagine you're on the M1, you're doing 70 mile an hour, you double that speed, and you get inches off the car in front.
Red and yellow BMW we're looking at there is Darrell O'Young. He has gone backwards. He has dropped down behind Tom Coronel, who was 13th. He's got to dice now with Fernando Monche. Norbert Mikelic has gone by him. Tom Boardman has gone by him. And Rob Huff has gone by him. Huff from 22nd now in 9th place. As you look at 38, Mark Bassang's black and red all-inkle Seat getting in front. Again, of Thiago Montero under braking.
And Boardman's done Huff. I think Boardman did Huff into the first.
Oh, did he?
I think he did into the first chicane.
Right, so battle of 2 Seat drivers. Huff in a Seat. Just to remind you, the withdrawal of the factory Chevrolet team last year left all 3 drivers without a seat. Muller hung on, and eventually some money came to him and RML to continue in the Chevrolet. Huff accepted an offer from all-inkle Munich Motorsport. There is Huff back in front of Boardman's black and white STR car. Huff with the number 1 on the door, the reigning world champion, but he's got a race on his hands. Tom Boardman wants to stay in the points and work his way further up the order. Boardman 3rd of the independents at the moment.
Yeah, Huffy's struggling in that car. He's trying to wring its neck. It's squirming all over the place.
This is the battle now for 4th place. Pepe Oriola in the Seat, and alongside him and past him, Gabriele Tarquini and Huff. Oh no, that's Bassang's gone off on Lesmo too, out of 7th place. So Montero and Tarquini both pick up a place in the Lesmos, because Montero will go past Bassang, and Huff may well have done as well. There is McDowell in 3rd. Tarquini there in 4th, car number 3, the red, white and green Castrol Honda. 5th place now is James Nash.
It's interesting to see they tiptoe through these chicanes.
Yeah.
They absolutely monster the curves. Oh,
Oh, that was Basseng.
Basseng.
Yeah, that was Basseng trying to get by Nash and then running out of road on the exit. This is the view from Huffy.
Yeah,
He now becomes the lead all-inkle BMW, all-inkle Seat. And there is Thiago Montero trying to go around the outside of James Nash and finding grip as well. Interestingly, every time you go on board, you hear them apply the throttle because it just dials in wheel spin, but he's still found a way to get by. It looks like the Hondas are actually finding more grip as the race progresses. Maybe the drivers are just adapting. There is Boardman with the Union flag on the roof of his black and white Seat, and Huff on the outside. Boardman's got track position as they get into the braking area.
It's going to be a case of chicken into the first corner.
Well, they were both on the brakes long before you would be in the drive.
Oh.
Boardman's got track position. Huff goes through, follows Tarquini through. Was that Tarquini or Montero? Montero, I think. So
Right.
that's Huff's second overshoot, Montero's first. We should be keeping a tally.
Right, I think that's Huff's second strike, so one more and he's out.
And a drive-through penalty for Mark Basseng. The car was knocked down on all its wheels as the 3-minute board came out. And there was another rookie error for Jean-Philippe Deyraud, who lost all his qualifying times for failing to stop for a weighbridge and was fined €500 for having his car in the fast lane of the pit lane before morning warm-up officially started. So drive-through penalty for car number 38, Mark Basseng. Meanwhile, there is a BMW battle between Daryl O'Young in 14th and Freddie Bart, the blue car, in 15th. They're behind Fernando Monche. Monche, who raced in the European Touring Car Cup last year, had a couple of early season World Touring Car efforts. It's now being run by Campos Racing. Adrian Campos, his single-seater team, and touch there. Bart inside O'Young, makes contact, and Daryl's got nowhere to go. There's barely enough grip to get round the corners, and certainly not enough to recover when somebody clips you. Well, the stewards will look at that. Thiago Montero in 6th position in his Castrol Honda, but Matt, still not looking a comfortable car.
Well, both the factory Hondas have made good progress. I mean,
Oriola out of 4th.
No, he was 5th, just behind Tarquini.
Did Tarquini get behind him? He did.
And that's going to move Montero up, so that you're going to be, the factory Honda's going to be running 4th and 5th.
Yeah. And Huffy in 8th place behind James Nash. There is Huff with the yellow strips on his car. Boardman 9th. Mikulits going to make it 3 Hondas in the top 10. So we've got Chevy 1, 2, 3. James Nash is a 4th Chevy in the top 10. We've got 4 Chevrolets and 3 Hondas in the top 10.
Huff's now right behind James Nash.
Somewhere in the gloom, there is Nash with the blue highlights and the blue Union flag on the roof. Huffy in the black and red Seat. Whoa, my lord! That's Mark Basseng slightly overshooting the first chicane. We'll take a look at this, how fast Basseng goes straight by. Shades of Alexei Dudicalo torpedoing Jimmy Thompson in that he completely lost his bearings there. That was nowhere close to getting the car slowed.
Yeah, so Huffy got Nash.
Yep, Huffy's down inside Nash into the Roger, and Tom Boardman fancies a go. It's a 3 British driver battle there for 6th position. Hengsler's in with some kind of a problem under bonnet.
So Huffy now makes it into the top 6 from 23rd on the grid. Come on, Rob.
He's only got to do it all again. See, in the old days, that would put him into, what, row 2 of the grid, wouldn't it? 876. He'd have been 3rd on the grid at this stage and climbing up towards the front. Well, no, he'd have gone past the front row. In fact, he'd be going back down the race 2 grid. But with the way qualifying is now, both grids are sealed in after qualifying, and so Huff is last in both races. But Jaime Puig, the Seat Sport boss, watching him quite entertained, I think, for the first time with Huff, not as a rival, but as somebody who's driving one of his cars.
Yeah, he's gone from last Seat on the grid to first Seat on the grid, so...
Oh, my goodness me. Mehdi Banani finding even less grip on the grass than there is on the track, and Banani dropping out of 15th. Engstler dropped out of 16th when he went into the pit lane. But there is Rob Huff in 7th place.
They've got good headlights on those Hondas, haven't they? When they're coming at you, you can hardly see a thing.
You want to get a set of them, mate?
I should.
Might be quite useful for removing the paint off somebody's back bumper. Muller and Chilton first and second. There is McDowell in third, still looking at an all-Chevy 1-2-3, but it's not Muller, Huff and Menu. It's Muller, Chilton and McDowell this time. Tarquini, 4th place. Coronel had 2 4th places here last year in his BMW. Where is he in this race? He's in 11th place. And in fact, he is top BMW, Tom Coronel, in 11th. Oh. Nash got it wrong and went the wrong way around the chicane. He's got to give the place back to Huff, and does. Huffy on the inside into Curva Grande. I'm sure we'll... Oh, no, he doesn't. Yes, he does. He just tried to tuck in front of Boardman. Outbraked himself.
Or was that he just got a little tap off Boardman?
Well, either or, he got sideways and jumped the curbs, and that put him in front of Huff, so he resumes his position in front of Boardman. Oh, and Huff's made a mistake there as well.
Well, that's the 3rd time Huffy's gone through a chicane or not round the circuit.
Yeah,
so.
Different escape road, though. Oh, no. Oh, and Boardman broken steering arm. Exactly what happened to Huff, and exactly what we always expect to see when there's any contact with the front wheels of Seat, is those TCAs go immediately, TCA steering arm, track control arm, whatever, they go immediately. I mean, you almost need to look at them and they're broken.
Those Seats are incredibly weak on the front end, just from minor contacts.
And Boardman is in the middle of the track on the penultimate lap of the race, and that is going to bring out the red flag, and the race will be stopped.
He needs to get off the racing line.
He can't get off the racing line. Exactly what happened to Rob Huff is the drive shaft will have jammed in the trying to turn in the caliper, and I can't see that even putting the safety car out is a sensible way to go now. We are heading towards the last lap of the race. This is lap 11 of 12. Are they going to be met by a red flag? Well, this is what happened. Tiny contact between Nash, and in fact even less contact between Nash and Boardman than there was between Huff and Bart. Well, if Muller speeds onto the last lap, they will be telling him on the radio that Boardman is stranded after the Rivazza, after the Roggia, not the Rivazza, because that's at Imola. And Boardman gets out of the car in a state of high dudgeon. Nukia comes flying round the corner.
And Tom was definitely showing his displeasure then as he was getting out, wasn't he?
Well, Muller still at full racing speed as he came into Curva Grande. And further back, the battle is on between James Nash and Norbert Mikelic. This is for 7th place now from Mikelic, so his Honda he's starting to get a feel for in the wet weather as well. Whatever testing the factory Castrol Hondas have had, he has not. He has had no testing realistically in that car whatsoever. He did the official Monza test last week, and that's it. So he is really learning on his feet. Rob Huff in 6th place. The battle on behind for 7th between Nash and Mikelic. James Nash having to fight a rearguard action again in his Bamboo Engineering Chevrolet.
What's the matter with James? I would have thought he's going to be disappointed with this result. You know,
yeah, I'm sure he will be.
God, that's a very dangerous place, that is.
Because McDowell's car is still keeping up the pace, and James's is not. Now, whether they've gone for slightly different settings, and Nash's is not quite working for him the way that Alex McDowell's is working for him, I'm not sure. I have to say, with visibility being so unbelievably low, we already know that the guy who finished in 3rd place in the Auto GP race had no idea the race had finished, because he was in a ball of spray and couldn't see A, either the car that was creating the spray, or B, the checkered flag, and as a result nearly had the mother and father of all accidents at the first chicane. But it's so limited visibility, I can't believe they just left a car parked on the racing line in the middle of the circuit and didn't do something about it. No safety car, no red lights. Well, whatever, it seems that everybody has avoided it safely, and the checkered flag is out. Ivan Muller wins the first race of 2013's FIA World Touring Car Championship. It's a 1-2 for RML, 1-2-3 for Chevrolet. Alex McDowell, the independent victor. Tarquinio Montero, the factory Hondas, fourth, and come on, Thiago, come across the line. Fourth and fifth. And Rob Huff from 22nd, sixth on the grid. He gets points, sixth rather in the race. James Nash, seventh, second independent, and a 1-2 in the Indies category for Bamboo. Eighth, Norbert Mikelic, 3 Hondas in the top 10. Ninth, Tom Coronel gets a BMW in the top 10. And Mark Basseng, has he come through for his drive-through? Yes, he has. Jean-Philippe Desraux in 11th. Freddie Bart gets a point in 10th place. Third place trophy goes to Alex McDowell. Second place to James Nash. Both drivers, to Tom Chilton rather. Both drivers starting their second year as World Touring Car drivers, and the common thread, of course, between them this year is they're in Chevrolets. And our race winner, Ivan Muller. Girlfriend Justine there with the umbrella. Tom's girlfriend Elle is down there watching as well. And there's Ronnie Harfeld, engineering director at RML, man who's been responsible for controlling the Chevrolet program almost from start to finish. A Chevy 1, 2, 3. Matt Neal, different colours from last year, but same cars are showing their pace once more.
Yeah, and I think, isn't that the first outright podium for Chilton and McDowell?
Yes.
First time they've actually stood up there.
I think I'm right for Alex McDowell, but for Tom Chilton, absolutely it is. And 3 Chevrolet drivers in the top 3. And of course, top Yokohama independent driver as well for Alex McDowell. So he's ringing all the bells there with that one. He and his dad will be very happy indeed with their first race of the new season.
Row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily.
Every stroke make them pay.
Life is but a dream.
The Boat Race, next Sunday 4 p.m, live on British Eurosport HD.
I'm coming home, baby, now. I'm coming home now, right away. I'm coming home, baby, now.
We put more cars at your fingertips than any other site. So whether you're looking for something new or something a little older, when it's time to change your car, why go anywhere else? Auto Trader.
Coming home, baby, now.
Oh, thanks again, Dawn. You're a real pal. And all because I had that little prang in the car. Hate to be a burden, I really do.
Oh, I'm sorry about the smell. Oh, fearful.
So, a free guaranteed hire car, you say, Churchill?
Oh, yes.
So you wouldn't be a burden on your friends if your car was off the road?
That's right.
Airdrop?
No thanks.
For a free guaranteed hire car, chat to Churchill.
Ta-da! Next time, get 1% cash back on your supermarket shopping with a 123 credit card.
You could get 3% cash back on your petrol.
2% cash back at department stores on that shirt and those shoes.
The Santander 123 credit card. Go online to see how it all adds up.
The 2013 MCE British Superbike Championship kicks off at Kent's Brands Hatch Circuit on Sunday the 7th of April. Don't miss your chance to see this year's teams and riders in action for the first time, including superstars Shane Byrne, Ryuichi Kiyanari and Josh Brooks. Advance tickets are £26 online. Kids under 13 go free. Book now at brandshatch.co.uk.
Busy grid here in Monza under very wet skies. Stefano D'Aste has made it out onto the grid, but from the pit lane, our pit correspondent, Ben Constanduris, at Ben Consti, tells us that Rob Huff is still there. And he's not the only car either. There are two cars will start from pit road. Tom Boardman, who also wanted to repair his damaged steering, his track control arm on his Seat, he will start from pit road as well. So the STR team and the All Inkle Motorsport team with some work to do. Daryl O'Young in his Royal Motorsport BMW brings the field to the line for the start of race 2 of the 2013 FIA World Touring Car Championship. And the reigning champion Rob Huff lines up behind compatriot Tom Boardman in the pit road after a differential change on his Seat and suspension work on Boardman's car. They will go when the rest of the field has cleared them. Race 1 winner Ivan Muller starts 10th. And his focus will all be on trying to find a clean, slippery way through to the front as early as possible. McDowell does not get away well. Balks, Muller and Tarquini as ever. Unbelievable getaway. Daryl O'Young leads, but Gabriele Tarquini comes from 5th to 2nd. Even though he's in a completely different car to last year, he still manages to outstart almost the entire field. Rennie Munich is 3rd. Pepe Oriola is trying to get 4th. Has to go across the grass. Engsler goes down the escape road. Munich is 3rd, and Tarquini is looking for the lead and glory around the outside of a BMW which may not have much heat in its tyres in Curva Grande.
The Italian's he's on home territory at Monza. He smells that win.
Well, he's going to have to beat Ivan Muller for it, but he has the lead of the race from Daryl O'Young. Rennie Munich, I beg your pardon, Rennie Munich. Mark Basseng in 3rd place. Michel Nukia 4th ahead of James Nash. Ivan Muller from 10th to 6th already in one corner. Then Pepe Oriola, Engsler, Bart, McDowell. And Boardman and Huff in that order at the back of the field have left the pit lane. So there is Muller. Oh, and lots of cars going off at the Roger as well.
Muller's made very good progress so far. Chilton's a couple of cars left behind him.
Looking back from Alex McDowell, who is currently down in 10th place. Woo! And that's Tom Coronel. Contact between the two of them. Coronel stays on. Muller's making a pass again. He's got alongside James Nash. Goodness me, this is just navigating by hope and luck, isn't it, really? Mark Basseng, good move from the GT1 world champion. 10 years since he's driven a front-wheel drive car. You wouldn't think it to look at him. Whoa, and there, jumping the curves is Michel Nukia, and I'm afraid Daryl O'Young is just going to be gobbled up by the pack here in this BMW. He's got no experience of it in the rain, and he's already lost a headlight, look. Oh no, that was the car in front of him. It's Nukia. And there is Muller, right behind O'Young in 5th place already. We're not even into the Parabolica. Now we sweep through the long final corner. It is going to be Honda's first lap led. Mark Basseng in 2nd, Nukia 3rd, and Muller's already 4th. Look out, Gabriele, he is coming for you.
It's like the boogeyman's coming, isn't it, with Muller?
Well, Boardman and Huff yet to catch Rennie Munich, who is the car in front of them. Tarquini, Basseng, Nukia, 1, 2, 3, and Michel Nukia moves to close down Ivan Muller. Basseng's car again going very deep. He talked to us between the races, Matt Neal, about how the fact that he gets the nose to do what he wants, but then the tail is swinging around and giving him a lot of turn-in oversteer, and he's not been able to cure that.
It's his first time in first race proper in a front-wheel drive. Who's that?
Oh, that's Rennie Munich. Well, Basseng got away well, but Tarquini from row 3 of the grid, just green and white, scything through the gaps.
He was electrifying in the Seat on his starts all last year.
There's just something about the old guy. He gets off the line well, doesn't he? Judged that superbly. Look at that.
Still struggling to get the power down there.
Yeah, couldn't get traction, but got 2nd place. Basseng was in third there. Darrell Young led into the first corner, but even then, look, Tarquini trying to go around the outside of him in that first corner.
Oh, little gentle nudge.
Tarquini tapping somebody. I can't believe what you're telling me. And that was the move around the outside of Curva Grande. Well, it may not have traction when it's putting the power down, but by gum, it can get round a corner well, and that was Freddie Bart. Just being avoided by Thiago Montero and everyone else, I think. And Muller through the exit of the Parabolica, going up to fourth place, where he still is behind Michel Nukia. Fifth place, Darrell Young from James Nash, Pepe Oriola, Tom Chilton, or Tom C. On, as it's all that's left on his name strip. Stefano D'Aste's made good progress as well from the back row of the grid. Yeah. He's 12th.
Nukia and Muller are now fastest middle sectors, so they're starting to get their heads down now if they work together.
D'Aste's 12th. Again, from the back row of the grid. Huff is in 18th. He's got ahead of Boardman, who's 19th. But again, D'Aste's in 12th. Is it just because they're green and white they suddenly find a way through here? And that is McDowell.
It's the Italians. They're at home at Monza, and they've got to do.
McDowell was battling Engstler and Montero. He was a fraction behind Engstler, 2 seconds in front of Thiago Montero at the line. So I'm suggesting he may have made contact with Franz Engstler there in turn 11, which is the Parabolica.
They're pulling Tarquini back in. He's just 1.4 seconds off.
Well, yikes, and Jean-Philippe Desraux goes straight on. He was battling with Tom Coronel for 12th place. Oh, they're all going down the escape road.
He'd never even...
Is there gravel or oil or something down there?
It's like they're not even attempting.
Maybe there's oil down there, because a lot of them on that outside line are, or maybe there's standing water they haven't found before.
There was some standing water on the outside, yeah.
May well be that they've all hit the same puddle, and with exactly the same effect, Matt. If there's a sheet of ice there and 4 cars go over it, they're all going to have the same effect, and that's what water does to you. Basseng, Nukia and Muller, these 3 cars, and Nukia has a big cold tyre moment. We saw that, didn't we, with Rob Huff and Alain Menu side to side through the Lesmos last year in blue Chevys, and Ivan Muller took advantage then and takes advantage now.
Big mistake off Nukia, because now Muller's in front.
Nukia now, Muller now third. Tarquini leads, Basseng second, Muller third. Nukia wants a place on the podium. He's looking at Ivan Muller. There's Tomo enjoying things from the sidelines, not half as much as I think he would have been enjoying it. Don't forget, his car would have been where Basseng's is now, second on the grid in race 2, had it been fit to race. Here come the leaders.
Tarquini's responded, fastest middle sector of the race.
But Muller, fastest lap of all last time round. Nash, fastest first sector on this lap as well. Muller's going to have a look at Basseng. Not yet, he is. Oh, yes, he is. Turns into the Parabolica, and again, so many times we've seen this map. The Chevy with grip to spare on turn-in. Basseng gets the nose planted and drives away from Muller.
He should get a good slipstream on him. There's a good distance for a slipstream coming up that start-finish straight as well now.
DRS is open. Oh, no, hang on a minute. That's just Muller. And, of course, the Chevy's unrestrained by any kind of politics this season. Muller is fully lit at this race. For the first time, we're seeing really what this Chevy Cruze can produce.
Oh, Basseng, he's run deep.
Again, same thing. Gets the nose turned in, and the tail just drags the car wide out to the curbs, and Muller takes advantage, gets a clean turn in, clean exit. There's Justine Monnier as her man moves up to second place. Muller is coming, just him and Tarquini between him and the lead. Ivan Muller in second place in front of Mark Basseng. He's got by Basseng and Nukia in 1 lap and almost outbreaks himself into the Roggia there. Just got in a little deep, Matt, as we look back from leader Tarquini.
Yeah, he can take his time now, but I fear the next target for him is not going to be so easy to put one over on.
Well, the only person that Tarquini is not going to heave off into the gravel as they try and go around the outside of him is the one who's currently chasing him. There's this very long-standing and friendly relationship between Tarquini and Muller, and they will treat each other very equally, I think. If Muller comes a knocking, Tarquini's not going to roll over, but Muller's got the speed. Look at him as he comes down now. He's going to make an inside move into Ascari. Will he get there? No, he won't. Tucks in, but he is now in hunter-killer mode, and Tarquini knows that it's his blood that Muller can smell in the water. And look at the water on the apex there of the first part of Ascari. Massive puddles Tarquini ran through, and you know what happens when your road car does that. It stops you dead, and it did the same to the Honda. Muller leads.
British Superbikes 2013 sees two of its greatest champions go head-to-head. With 3 titles apiece, it's going to be a war for 4. Commence. It all starts Sunday, 7th of April, live on British Eurosport 2 HD.
£25 free play at ladbrokescasino.com. Play online, on your PC, tablet or mobile. That's right, £25 free play at Ladbrokes Casino.
The best day of my life! Free! That's rules! Game on!
The weather is frightening, the thunder and lightning seem to be having their way. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a lovely day.
Motorsport's Fast and Furious tin-top action returns to Donington Park on the 20th and 21st of April with the hugely popular Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship. Round 2 of this hotly anticipated season sees 4 previous champions going head-to-head. Advance tickets are on sale now and start from only £10 for the Saturday and £25 for race day Sunday. Visit donington-park.co.uk for more details or phone the ticket hotline on 0844 873 7343.
Matt, we talked about it between the races. The single best thing, perhaps, that has happened in Huff's weekend is that after failing to qualify and starting at the back of the grid, it was appalling wet conditions, which allows him more chance, perhaps, to overtake than they would have been in the dry.
Yeah, it's a combination of that and other drivers, because of the conditions, make more mistakes.
Yeah.
So allow you to through, where it's a much tighter ship you've got to try and navigate through. Was that Chilton behind there?
Yes, that's the 5th place battle. That's Nash, Oriola behind him in the Seat, who gets a good run, and Tom Chilton in 7th spot. James Nash 5th at the moment. Pepe Oriola, though, in the slipstream. He'll vanish. And again, got to say, Mark Basseng using all the speed of that car. There is the Honda of Norbert Mikulits, who's had a wretched time in that car. Now is Tarquini. Oh, Muller's gone by Tarquini. Muller's gone by Tarquini, and Basseng, and everybody's having problems. I think that first corner puddle is getting bigger and bigger. Now, did Muller get by Tarquini because he shot straight through?
No, that happened about a lap ago.
Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't pay attention to that, sorry. Did really?
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Thinking about too many other different things. Okay, so Muller pulling away, 2.4 seconds ahead of Tarquini. I'm sorry, yes. And
Basseng went straight through the...
Yeah, Nuki went by him,
Tell you what, Nokia's got Tarquini in his sights now.
Yee, power sliding his way through, which you can't do in a rear-wheel drive car, but it looks like it. James Nash there, still holding off Pepe Oriola and Tom Chilton. And they're not... Oh, they are now, actually. They've dropped about a second away, that three-car battle, from this battle for second place. So they are dropping away. Nash, Oriola and Chilton are tripping over each other. Chilton sticking with it. Battle for second. Tarquini, Nukia and Bassing.
He's missed it again.
Yeah.
He's made it.
Right, he got into that water, but got it slowed down, I think.
This is getting interesting now, this battle for second.
Yeah. If we take Muller out of the equation, we've got a very good race indeed on our hands. Gabriele Tarquini goes by the Honda of Norbert Michelic. Tarquini in second place, Nukia still in third. There's the red, white and green of Tarquini, and Bassang again almost runs up the back of Nukia. Chilton, replay of him battling with Oriola. Now, no contact, but Oriola left it too late to try and make the corner and had to straight line the chicane. On board with Rob Huff, this is Coronel in front.
Yeah, I just got notification Oriola's picked up a drive-through penalty for that.
No, he's car 74. Drive-through penalty is for car 25, which would be Mehdi Benani.
Right.
In fact, that's been up for he was notified of that before, wasn't he, a couple of times, and who was warned about it? Tom Boardman was warned about it.
That's my mistake.
Here comes Nukia. There's so much going on here, and Matt, of course, you don't have the adrenaline of being at the wheel, where it's so much easier to follow all these little tributaries and confluences that are going on.
When you're at the wheel, you're just so focused and concentrated, you don't have time to think about a lot of things. Up in here, I get more butterflies sat in here watching it now.
But you don't need the time to think as well, because your adrenaline is rushing so fast, your synapse is just firing at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and your brain works so much quicker. Huff still with Coronel, flying the curbs with Air Coronel. He cannot get the power down. Look how much traction Huff has got coming out of Ascari, straight by. That's not engine power, that is traction. Huff can get the power on the road, and Tom could not. Change for 10th. Huffy is back in the points.
Now we've lost Nokia. Have we lost Nokia?
No, not so far.
No, that was Montero.
This is lap 8 of 10. Can Huff get into the top 6 again? It's a much slower progress this time, because he started from the pit road, and a big slide there. And see how much the car just slows down. There's Nokia.
There's Nokia
ahead of Coronel.
No, ahead of Tarquini.
Tarquini, rather. So Nukia is in second place, Chevrolet 1-2, Honda third, Basseng fourth in the Seat, Nash and Chilton 5th and 6th in the Chevys. So still 4 of the top 6 cars are Chevrolets. Tarquini drives right around the outside of Nukia and said, "You see that second place? I'll have that back, thank you very much indeed."
Made a mistake. Didn't see what happened there.
Might have been. Now, Nukia didn't get by because he jumped the chicane, did he? He got by on the straight, so he didn't give it back. No, because we saw him passed on the straight before they got to braking, so he didn't give it back. I think Tarquini's just found phenomenal grip all the way around the outside of Curva Grande. Well, this is Parabolica.
Don't know.
Great racing. Great racing between the two of them. Nukia alongside. Didn't see the end of that. I thought we were going to see the answer to the question we asked, but we didn't. Black and white flag for Pepe Oriola, which means they're watching his driving standards, which may be how he's treating the track limits.
Maybe I'm psychic. Maybe he will get a drive-through penalty in a couple of laps.
Nukia again lunges down into Ascari, inside Tarquini, who cannot defend. There's a car in the way. Nukia gets the car kind of to the second apex. Look how much curb Tarquini's using to straddle that big high puddle there, or big puddle off the high curb. Some of those words in a sentence rearranged.
You can see the spray there, but the problem with that much spray and the puddles, you can't see it, so you hit the puddles and then you just aquaplane, but you don't know when you're going to get it.
Has Tarquini got his headlights on main beam? They're a lot brighter than anybody else's. Tom Boardman, at the Roger, can he get out of there? Luckily it's wet gravel, makes it easier to find some traction. Comes back on-ish, vaguely in the middle of a few people. Nukia in second now, pulling away from Tarquini, where the Hondas seemed to get better in race 1 as it progressed. It doesn't seem to be happening here. Now, that is Oriola trying to go by James Nash. He's done him. He's up to 6th position at the line. Nash in 7th. Chilton's gone by as well. Nash has made a big mistake somewhere then, I think.
Oh, Chilton's jumped the pair of them, so he's up to 5th place now.
Yes, he has. So Nash and Oriola, there you go. James Nash makes a mistake in the Parabolica. Pepe goes through but takes a compromised line, and Max Chilton fully lit on the right line, goes steaming by them both up to 5th position. Where did he finish in race 1? 2nd, of course, yes, behind Ivan Muller. So Ivan Muller still leads after on lap 9 of 10. Michel Nukia in 2nd is the top independent. Oh, biff bash bosh. And that is the Valvoline bonnet of Coronel hitting McDowell. Yeah, Coronel hitting McDowell. Car 37. Who's car 37? Oh, Rennie Munich up the escape road.
Now, the one that's up for grabs is 3rd. Is Marc Bassin going to get a podium on his first meeting, or is Tarquini going to get a podium for Honda's first meeting?
Well, now there you go. There is the battle. 1.2 seconds between Tarquini and Bassin. And that is Michel Nukia's family and friends in the garage. He lies in 2nd place, top Yokohama independent performer. Top Indy, Matt Neal, has been on the podium in race 1, 3rd for Alex McDowell, and looks like a podium shoe-in 2nd place here, Michel Nukia. And Tarquini is definitely not safe. Whatever Marc Bassin may have been saying to us about not being sure about the car, when there's a podium sniffing right in front of him, he'll find something extra if he can.
Yeah, you speak to Bassin and he's got a very lovely, calm, pleasant demeanour, but he hasn't won all the things he's won without having a bit of fire in his belly and being a racer.
Reigning FIA GT1 world champion Marc Bassin won it in even darker, even wetter conditions at Donington Park at the end of last year, didn't he? Tarquini still 3rd, but Bassin with the speed. Tarquini's last lap, 2:20.6. Bassin's 2:19.7, and Oriola's 2:17.9. Bassin a 2nd quicker than Tarquini on that penultimate lap. Last lap of the race now. This is lap 10 of 10. Car 14 under investigation. That's James Nash, 7th spot. Quite sure why. There might have been something before he ran wide in Parabolica that we didn't see. Well, there's a big story here for this podium, isn't there? Muller, 2 race wins, might perhaps have predicted that. Nukia, 2nd place overall and top Indy. And then either Tarquini or Bassin, perm one of those two. Either way, whichever team gets that podium, that's a big story for either or both of them. Oh, and Chilton's right behind as well. Chilton might get through if they tangle.
Yeah, Bassin has got to be careful, otherwise Chilton might just mug him.
Yeah. Chilton's close, and he's not alone. Behind Chilton is Oriola. There's Chilton. You see the other set of lights, that's Pepe Oriola. Woo! And Bassin all over the curbs there, tail wagging the dog. Tarquini, well, this is line and length, Matt. This is ignoring the lights in your mirrors and just getting your line right, and that is the other car of Rennie Munich, just staying out of the way. Rennie, slow right down. Do not get in the way of Marc Bassin, your teammate. He's staying well out of harm's way, and Bassin's got a good run again on Tarquini. Not close enough. Looking back from Gabrielli, we're still in 3rd, Matt, and this is Ascari. One more chance. Oh, and again Tarquini finds the puddle, and Bassin's all over him. He's going to gobble him up on the exit. Can he get the traction? He can, but Tarquini's got position. Bassin tries to run wide. Muller is going to win this. Nukia is going to be 2nd. It's all about 3rd, and Tarquini, how has he hung on?
Well, the one thing is this Seat and Honda do seem very evenly matched on the straight, so he's got to make it work for it.
Listen to the Italian commentator going mental. Big wobble from Tarquini. That's what happened to Bassin in to Rennie Munich in qualifying. Tarquini ran into the back of him, but Bassin needs to drive to the line. Victory for Muller, 2 wins, 2nd place for Nukia, and 3rd place at the line by a hair is Tarquini. And the timing screen doesn't tell us. The timing screen's died. Tarquini is 3rd, Bassin is 4th. 3rd 37 or is that 87 thousandths behind? It was a hair's breadth either way. Honda have a podium in their first race. Nika have a podium in their first race weekend. And Baseng so close. Look at that at the line. Half a car length. Oh, there was an overlap. So that was close. Wow. Well, Ivan Muller, 2 race wins. I don't think we're surprised by that, are we?
Well, anything could have happened this race. You know, with those conditions, they were absolutely horrendous. And, you know, for Ivan to come from where he did on the grid, and car or not, Muller or not, you have to take your hat off to him to get 2 under his belt in these conditions. But pretty ominous for the rest of the grid. I mean, he's just, you speak to him in the paddock and he seems very relaxed this year, and when Muller's on that sort of form, he's a very hard guy to beat.
Yep. He might have had a tougher time, perversely, if it had been dry. I think perhaps the wet weather exaggerated how good the Chevy is. Great traction, great power traction, and great chassis balance. Andrea Adamo there in the left of your shot in the black hat, absolutely delighted with that. Tears from the Japanese Honda men, and I'm sure the men from Mugen as well, the engine builders, will be absolutely ecstatic. It is a dream start, first ever World Touring Car Championship weekend for the factory Castrol Hondas, and they have a podium finish. Big applause, especially from the Gabrielli fan club down there. Loyal friends and family. And an important day for Honda. They start their World Touring Car campaign with a factory squad and claim their first podium. Michel Nucke, second place. Victory in the independent category in race 2 for the Nika Racing driver. And Ivan Muller starts 2013's campaign as he did 2012's, with 2 race wins here in Monza. Ivan Muller's our championship leader, ahead of Tom Chilton and Gabriele Tarquini in 3rd spot. Michel Nucke, Alex McDowell, Thiago Montero, and those are the rest of the overall Drivers' Championship point scorers. Happy with 8 points in race 1, 1 in race 2. So 46 points behind the leader already. It'll be a long season, lots more racing, lots more twists and turns in the tail.